This one is a little, it's dark, man.
It's a little darker.
It's deep.
Definitely a little
And
darker.
yeah, we'll get into it. So talking about Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears molestation and grooming allegations and the controversy surrounding that. Sticks, what did you see the video? Do you see the skit that's in
I did see
question
the
and where all
video.
this is coming from?
Man, I have definitely seen it. I watched it a couple of times just to kind of, and hopefully they don't cancel me for that. I just wanted to make sure I had all the information that I
Right,
need.
right.
But they're being sued, like you said, for child molestation and grooming, and the allegations are stemming from a parody video that they did back in 2013 with a little boy being molested by his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if anybody's seen the video. It's out there publicly for the world to see. So if you haven't seen the Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears molestation video, if you want to check it out, cool. But it is weird as hell.
Yeah.
But there's a little boy at the time, 7 years
He was
old.
7, yep.
He was 7 years old in the video, and Aries Spears is playing his uncle, and he's in the video. He's definitely grooming and molesting this little boy. Not you don't see it, but you can tell just from the actions and how the energy is with Aries Spears. You can tell that he's definitely doing something behind the scenes with this little boy. So that's where it's stemming from. And the mother is not coming out trying to sue.
No, not the mother.
Tiffany Haddish.
It's not the mother. No, she's not involved in the. She has tried to in the past, not to cut you off. She tried. She has tried to in the past.
Okay,
yeah, no. She tried to in the past, and it was settled with Aries Spears specifically, not Tiffany Haddish. Now, the oldest girl who is also involved in the skit.
Now 22 years old.
Yeah,
yep.
she's 22. She was involved in another skit that they did. She's along with her brother suing Tiffany Haddish and Aries
So it's
Spears.
the kids. It's not the mother.
Yeah,
so
the mother's
from what
not
I saw,
involved. She's not a plaintiff on this.
Okay, so what I was looking at, it was I guess I got a little bit mixed up. So Triza Morris, which is the mother of the two kids, of course, kids being unnamed because of the allegations, but they're now 22 and 15. The two kids are, and the mother, from what I saw, Tiffany Haddish's lawyer said that the mother was trying to sue them for grooming and filming sexually graphic, pornographic, child pornography skits with the kids. But I guess she was extorting them over these past 13 years,
Yes.
or 8, of these past 13 years, or 8 years.
8 years.
She was extorting them over these past 8 years. So that's what the lawyer was saying, that she was extorting them, but now the kids are coming out. But I think the mother has a lot to do with this. Now that the kids are of age or are able to do it, the mother is now telling the kids to go after this and file these charges.
I don't think so. I think from what I read, again, these are all allegations. We don't know if it's true or not, but we will take this serious, especially because there's kids involved. I don't mess with anybody messing with kids or hampering the development of kids. But from what I've read, they have been traumatized about this for quite some time, and it just so happened that the oldest has taken it upon herself to go after the two individuals, Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears, because the mother did try to. I think in the last 8 years, she actually, like I said, she had a settlement with Aries Spears on the allegations in question, but that was it. Nothing legal has happened. So now the oldest has taken it upon herself, along with her brother, to get some type of compensation and some knowledge going on about this. You just mentioned in the last segment what Jim Carrey said about it being Holly weird, and it definitely is, man. This is classic case that we hear of stories going on in Hollywood with young actors, with women, of them being taken advantage of. And my initial thought for this whole thing, and it's funny that you brought the mother into this, is that you got to watch who you allow around your kids and who you allow to watch your kids. Because, I mean, for me, it was like, okay, Tiffany Haddish, how all of this came to be was Tiffany Haddish was speaking at, again, this is all allegations. She was speaking at the oldest one of her camps, and she approached her saying, I have the perfect role for you. How many times have we heard stories that have gone left where it starts out with that, I have the perfect insert, whatever that is, for you. And shit just goes left. So she says, "I have the perfect role for you," and then she's in doing this role where she's. The article says she was performing fellatio on a sub sandwich, moaning and whatnot. I mean, so you know how.
I didn't see. Did you? You didn't see that. I'm guessing you didn't see the video, but you were just reading from an
Yeah, I
article.
was reading it from an article because the allegations in question are coming from the video with the youngest, but
Damn.
it was
Right. Facts.
two skits that were done with Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish involved. With the first one
Mm-hmm.
being with the oldest daughter, and then the second one that we all have seen, I'm sure, is with the youngest son and the pedophile. Was it? What's the title of the skit? Something with pedophile in it.
Ah.
Something with pedophile in it.
Right. Right.
Let
Right.
alone.
Right. 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 Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so for that, the first skit where she was quote unquote performing fellatio on a sub, I could see how that could get skewed because I mean, hungry individuals when they are eating food, they moan and stuff. Now,
Make noise. They
right,
make noises.
right
And I
now,
know I'm one of those that be like,
right
good.
now, to
Like it's
ask a
delicious.
exactly to ask a kid to do that though in that manner and out of
It's
bounds,
weird, bro.
right?
Way out of bounds. And I haven't seen it, but if you, I can see how that can come into grooming allegations too,
Mm-hmm.
because you're grooming this girl or trying to teach her or groom her into being a sexual, trying to teach her how to be sexual.
Right.
And for a girl at the time, she was what,
14.
16,
She
15,
was 14.
14? 14, yeah, because 8 years ago, now she's 22. So she was 14 years old at the time. I can't even imagine seeing my daughter doing anything like that at
So
14
let me
years
ask
old,
you
bro.
this. Yeah, I couldn't imagine my daughter either, but let me ask you this. The question that always pops into my mind and the questions that I have about this whole situation is,
Mm-hmm.
was the mother originally at the skits when they were producing them? Because she was at the time she was a single mother, and that's another reason why
Mm-hmm.
she entrusted Tiffany Haddish with the kids is that they bonded
Mm-hmm.
over the divorces that both of them had, and that's how they bonded. And
Agreed.
she agreed to entrust Tiffany Haddish with allowing her
Mm-hmm.
kids to be in the skits, but
Right.
she couldn't have been at these. She couldn't have been
Couldn't
at
have.
when they were making these skits because I know me as a dad. One, I'm gonna try to. I might not be able
I'm
to be at.
supervising.
Yeah, I might not be able to be at
Supervising.
everything, but I'm at least gonna be at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show up enough to where my presence is there. She couldn't have
Facts.
been
Facts.
at these films because at the productions of this because that alone, the first wait, you asking my daughter to do what? No, 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 no.
Nah, facts.
Y'all got it messed
Because
up.
and you know what's even crazier is I think, and you saw the skit. You
I
watched
saw
the
the
skit.
one with the boy. Yeah,
The way the way Tiffany Haddish was acting in that skit, I believe was portraying how Miss Morris actually was in real life.
you think so?
I think so because there's no way, bro. There's no way that you're being a single mother. I know you got a lot you got to do. You probably got to work a
Mm-hmm.
couple of jobs. You got to find out. You got to find a way to have your fun when you can. You got to live your life. You got to do, and sometimes within that you may
Miss out on being present for
miss
your
out on a lot
kids.
of opportunities with your kids. That too, but you may. I don't want to say that, but you're gonna miss out on a lot of opportunities with your kids. So the way that she was acting in the skit, I think was supposed to portray how Miss Morris actually was in real life.
Or
And
do you think
she
it was
was
just a
legit
generalization for single mothers,
single mothers in general,
young single mothers, not just
young
single
single
mothers?
mothers, and yeah, most that could be it too. It could have been a generalization, and we're not saying that all single mothers are like
Yeah,
this. So please
definitely
don't take
not.
this out of
Well,
context,
it's
ladies.
because
Please
it's the
don't.
skit. You know what I mean? We're talking
But it's
about
just because of
how
the
they
skit. So we talk
portrayed.
about the skit
Yeah,
in
yeah,
general,
yeah, yeah.
right? So she portrays single mothers as erratic, trying to drop their kids off anywhere they can just to have a free moment,
Mm-hmm.
to go out, to go do run errands, and if that sometimes I'm sometimes that happens. But I think a
Sometimes,
lot of single
listen,
mothers.
hold on. Let me stop you. And not to interrupt you. You said sometimes. I mean, as I'm married with two kids, and
Mm-hmm.
it's tough on us not having our family in close proximity to us. So we basically, I mean, I sit in the house anyway, but we sit in the house
Mm-hmm.
and not do much. So I can only imagine how it is for a single mother
A single
that
mother,
has to
yeah.
do everything: clean the house, cook, provide for the kids, make sure that they're doing their homework. So looking for free time, I can see how you can easily,
I can see how that could be.
yeah, I
Yeah,
can see how you can easily lose track of some of the responsibilities that you have for your kids. And that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
I just want to know,
it's
was
tough.
she even there, or was she doing handling other responsibilities and then
And like you said,
trusted,
she couldn't have been.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
trusted
and
Tiffany
trusted Tiffany.
Haddish with the supervision of her kids during this time.
That's exactly what happened. And Tiffany Haddish definitely spoke out about it. And of course, Aries Spears, he's a weird. I fell down a rabbit hole
Mm-hmm.
of some of Aries Spears skits that he did. He did those two skits with these two children.
Mm-hmm.
He did another skit that was the intro to the Bill Cosby Show,
What?
where he was, yeah, an intro to the Bill Cosby Show where he was portraying himself as Bill Cosby drugging these women.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, like Bill Cosby, Aries Spears,
Wow.
just his reputation is another reason why he's in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, he came out and spoke to it on his podcast. He has a podcast with Andy Steinberg. It's called Steinberg and Spears,
Mm-hmm.
and he came out and spoke about it to all the loyal fans, saying thanks for the support. But he was saying it's an extortion case, which in theory it is, but because this happened so long ago and the mom has already been trying to get the money out of them, and she already got a settlement out of Aries.
Mm-hmm.
Now the daughter is coming out, so it's like, and then Tiffany Haddish spoke out. She had a really long statement that she made on Instagram. It's basically saying, I know people have a bunch of questions. I get it. I'm right there with you. Unfortunately, because this is an ongoing legal case, there's very little I can say right now. But clearly, while this sketch was intended to be comedic, it wasn't funny at all.
Yeah, it
And
wasn't. Yeah.
and she says, I deeply regret having to agree to act in it. I really look feared and being able to share a lot more about the situation as soon as I can. So that's what she said. So she hates the fact that she even did it at this point. It was 8 years ago. I know that she was kind of just starting out her career and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So she was kind of just doing, but she is very remorseful. Aries Spears, not so much.
Yeah, so it was not funny at all. The skit,
It
it
wasn't
was
funny
it
at
was
all.
kind of uncomfortable to watch,
Very much so.
very uncomfortable to watch. And like I mentioned in the last segment, comedians are seen as, or typically comedians are some of the smartest individuals in the entertainment industry. You look
Mm-hmm.
at Dave Chappelle, as controversial as he is, his his stand-ups
Very
are
intellectual.
very, like, they make you think. They cause a lot of
Mm-hmm.
controversy, but they make you think. And
Mm-hmm.
in controversy, he's talking about race, he's talking about religion, sexuality has been big for him as of late. He talked about
Mm-hmm.
class. He talks about
Mm-hmm.
his kids and how bad they are. He doesn't actually act out groping any other kids. You got Chris Rock. Ironically, you have Chris Rock, who's intellectual with his comedy. George
Mm-hmm.
Carlin, old comedian, very
Oh, the
intellectual.
older comedian,
Yeah,
very
his
intellectual.
his comedy stand up still resonate with what's going on today.
Mm-hmm.
Comedians push the envelope. That's just what
They
they
do
do.
all the time.
That's
They
what.
toe the line all the
Yeah, they
time.
toe that line all the time. But this one, this this one is way out of bounds. I know I said the Jada one was out of bounds, and that
Mm-hmm.
one was only slightly out of bounds because, like I said, she's not gonna die from that. This one was way
Mm-hmm.
out of bounds, like
Way out
way
of
out of
bounds.
bounds. And again, they're allegations right now, but you actually see the videos in question. You can gather your
Mm-hmm.
own thoughts for yourself. If anybody sees that video and says, I see nothing wrong with it, I question your
Bugging,
character,
bugging.
because
Oh my
it was
gosh.
not only was the little boy for this video, not only was the little boy half naked the whole time, just in his drawers,
Mm-hmm.
he was in the tub.
The bathtub at one
Bathtub.
point.
Aries Spears climbs in the bathtub with him. He rubs
Mm-hmm.
baby oil on
Baby
Aries
oil.
Spears, on the boy's show. Aries Spears rubs baby oil on the boy's shoulders, and then in turn
Mm-hmm.
towards the end, the boy rubs baby oil on him, and he begins to grope and groom, which is
Mm-hmm.
and so it's
And that yeah.
it's
Go
it's
ahead. I'm
kind
sorry.
of, it's definitely truth in the skit, and I understand what the message that they were trying to convey. They went
Mm-hmm.
about it the wrong way.
The
They
wrong
went about
way.
it the wrong way.
The wrong way.
Yeah,
Absolutely the wrong way. And I was gonna get into that too. What you just mentioned was that towards the end of the skit, the little boy started having feelings for Aries
right.
Spears. And that's what the grooming allegations and the molestation is that sometimes the victim becomes becomes the one that's going at. So you start grooming these kids. This trauma that you're putting these kids through, that he was putting these kids through in the skit, is happening in real life. A lot of there's some people out here who are just weird like that, and they're preying on little kids, and it traumatizes these kids so much that they grow up knowing nothing about that. And you know what's crazy? And we talked about this right here, and that goes into R. Kelly. He said that he was molested when he was a child, and that's all he knew. He thought sex was power, and that you had power over people if you were sexual, and you just and that's how he got into that same thing with his charges.
Yep.
So it's like,
yeah,
like D-Lo said, man, if you see this skit, if you go out here, if you haven't seen it and you go watch it just based off of what we had our commentary on it, and you see nothing wrong with it, something is wrong with you, my guy.
Yeah, I won't say
something is wrong with you because it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can say something's wrong. You know, I take the slightly aggressive approach. I question. I'm not going to say something's wrong with you.
Less aggressive.
I question.
I'm aggressive. I'm aggressive. I'm aggressive. So if you see nothing wrong with that Aries Spears skit, something is wrong with y'all. It's wrong with y'all.
Yeah, I question. But the thing is, you hit the nail on the head. Is for some reason, not only in America but all over, the molestation and messing with little kids is like passed down from generation to generation, The trauma continues, and I don't know how we stop it, but it has to stop because we are messing up generations of people that should be prospering, but they can't come out of their shell because of what happened to them when a kid. And it's way more individuals than you know or that are around you that have been molested or have had something happen to them by somebody that they trusted when they were younger, and they are secretly dealing with it. We gotta get better
those
with
emotions, those feelings.
Exactly. We got to get better with how we treat our children, how we raise our kids. I mean, there's a lot of great individuals in this world, but it's also a lot of sick individuals in this world. And I'll go back to how I started this segment: is make sure you know who is around your kids. I don't care if it's family member, friend, whatever the case may be. Make sure that you have a good gauge. And then sometimes it's hard. People put on good facades.
It's hard to gauge, for sure.
People put on good fronts, good facades, but you gotta always be mindful of who is around your kids, because you don't want them to take advantage of your kids, and you don't want them to ruin all of the hard work that you have been doing or putting in with your kids, and ruin their future. And I'll finish this with, I got a bunch of questions. We already asked it. Was the mother there at the recording? I'm gonna say no, because if she was, then I don't think
couldn't have been.
I don't. The first one may have been, the first skit may have gotten away, just because, like I said, people when they eat they make noises, so that could have been at the time gone over her head. But that second one definitely would not have flown. She would probably stop.
Would not have flown, bro.
Off rip.
Yeah, I agree with you in that sentiment. She couldn't have been there. And again, it could just go back to, just like you said, interest in Tiffany Haddish, and knowing Tiffany Haddish, they had the same kind of I would say lifestyle, but they went through the same kind of trauma with the divorces and things like that. So she trusted Tiffany, and I would go so far as to say Tiffany took advantage of that trust.
Yes.
And it goes back to your sentiment of saying, hey man, just know who you got around your kids, because Tiffany definitely took advantage of that situation. What was your next question you had?
Well, I'll just piggyback off that, and I know it's hard for single mothers, especially. It's hard for me. Then I have another parent in the house, another partner in the house to raise kids, but I know it's hard to do that all the time. But you got to be vigilant with that, and that's all I'll say about that. As far as making sure you know who's around your kid. My second question and third question, because it's always another level to it, is what was this video for?
It was meant initially to bring awareness, or that's what it was meant to do. It was meant to bring awareness to molestation and grooming that does happen in the world.
Okay.
because it definitely does happen behind the scenes. It was meant to bring awareness to it, but the way they went about this skit was just the entirely, just like we said earlier, it was just, they just went about it the wrong way. It did not shed any light on it. If anything, it made it even more weird
Right. Yeah. I mean,
to me. So that's what it was for initially, was just to bring light to what does happen with some, in some
yeah,
situations.
they went way left with this, and I
They went way left. And the crazy, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
you
off, but the
good?
crazy thing is that it's not always just the weird uncle.
Yeah, for sure.
You
It's
got you got aunts that do it. You got friends that do it. It's
yeah.
not just men that are out here doing these Geppetto crimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's women do it too. Is
Right.
and this just to shed some light on that. But the ones that are the most publicized are the ones that are men doing these, having these allegations against them. But it could be anybody, bro. It could be anybody that's doing these things. So just like we say, man, just make sure you know who's around your children.
Yeah. I feel like yeah, I feel like Tiffany Haddish is more remorseful for it
She
than
is.
Aries Spears is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's standing on his comedy. I was
Mm-hmm.
towing that line, telling the story and making fun of the situation, trying to bring laughs to the situation.
Yeah.
That's just one of like rape. We can't say that, can we?
Grape.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
It, that you don't play with that either. Like those
At
are
all, man.
situations you just don't play with. And I feel like he has, in his statement, what he did say, it just came off real aggressive and like we ain't with
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't care what's going on. And what Tiffany had is why we haven't heard her tone in this situation. The
Mm-hmm.
words that she wrote, whether it came from her heart directly or a publicist wrote it, it seemed a little more dialed down and remorseful.
It did.
Um,
It was. It was for sure.
but that being said, we said what it was for. Who signed off on this? So like
I
let's think about some of the stuff that when it comes out, the first question we ask is, okay, yeah, y'all did that, but who higher up, who above you signed off on that? Who oversaw that? So you think about the
mhm.
H&M ad where they had the what
the,
that shirt that the
the
little
look,
black boy
the
wore,
shirt.
and it was like the
Mhm.
what coolest the what is it, something with monkey on it.
Coolest monkey in
The
school.
cool no the coolest monkey in the jungle, something like that.
The cool. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Coolest
coolest
monkey
monkey in
in
the
the
jungle. Yeah.
jungle. And the first question that we ask as a collective is, okay, yeah, some person was just doing their job, taking the photos and whatnot. What CMO, what chief marketing officer signed off on this at H&M? Let's hold them accountable. My question
Facts.
is, what person that was tied to Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish said, yeah, yeah, y'all go ahead and do that skit. Come on, man. I know you. Oh, you're getting in the tub with a little boy. Yeah, let's go ahead
Yeah,
and do that.
that's perfectly
Yeah, that's
fine. That's
fine.
perfectly
That's
cool.
nothing gonna happen.
Yeah.
There's no feet, no backlash that's gonna come from that. Come on, man.
It had to be somebody just as weird as them, and it's like, but I heard in a report, like I said,
And
I
again,
was
these are all
watching a
allegations, but
these all
video is
allegations,
damning in itself.
damning in itself. But I was watching a reaction video to it, and the person who was reacting, and it could be all he say she say, but even the people who were recording the video and like producing it and putting to publish it on YouTube,
Hmm.
they weren't even with it. They weren't even
So you
with
got
it.
to stand
But
up.
like you said, who higher than Aries? Who higher than Tiffany? Who higher than the cameraman? Who higher than the producer? Came out and said that shit cool as hell. Run
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that's
Who said
funny.
it?
That's hilarious. No, it's
That's
not, bro.
funny. It's funny, and you're bringing light to these things that are happening. No, you're not, bro.
Yeah.
It's weird, my guy.
It's okay to bring
It's
light to that
weird.
situation. It happens all the
There's
time.
definitely different ways to do it.
But yeah, like we started out, they went way left on this one,
Way
out of
left.
bounds.
Way left.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's ridiculous, man. So
we'll see what happens with this whole case, and we'll see how it's taken by the Los Angeles County DA and how far it goes, if anything actually happens, if Aries or Tiffany serve any time, if they Aries already pretty
mhm.
much already lost his career. If Tiffany loses her career, we'll see.
Yeah. I feel like the content that we put out last week was definitely really, really good content. I think it has been well received by the people who we sent it to and the people who actually found it organically through YouTube.